All right, guys. We're gonna get into something that's deep, like a pond. No, we're gonna talk about changing your water out. And there's a lot of different things that can go wrong. There's a lot of ways you can make this less stressful. So to everyone out there, we're gonna cover a lot of this stuff. If you have additional questions, boom, right in the comment section below. I would assume the next time we get together, we could probably film a whole other episode based just on those questions.
Yeah.
But we're at the Webb's Water Garden Warehouse. I'm here with Joe. This is the lead pond tech. So this is the guy to give you the answers. So what are some reasons you would have to do a water change? Let's start there. Why am I even in this mess?
If we're talking about draining and cleaning a pond,
Yeah.
obviously if you've had the pond for many, many, many years, eventually that debris is going to accumulate in the pond, and it doesn't just disappear. So if it starts to build, it's to the point of where it's unmanageable. I mean, muck this deep, which I've come across. It's time to drain the pond and clean it.
And let's just be fair. Like that's a mistake that got out of hand.
Well, it happens. I mean,
Do you think that's something that would just happen to somebody over the course of owning a pond?
Well, it depends where the pond is. I mean, if you're in a heavily wooded area,
Gotcha.
and those leaves fall, and
Yeah, mostly what I come across is just like ponds in suburban areas without a whole lot of biodebris. But I could see how that could get out of hand, especially if you're just dealing with just an endless amount of bio waste that isn't actually coming from the pond itself. It's coming from the external sources.
yeah, in those big ponds, it takes a while to build. So when you do have to clean it, it's going to take a while.
All right.
And usually you want some manpower behind it.
So the first thing I'm going to ask you is the same thing that all these guys out here are going to be concerned about. What do you do with the fish?
Holding tanks, I've used Rubbermaid trash cans in the past, but there are some collapsible holding quarantine tanks you can use. You can purchase those inexpensively on Amazon. We don't carry any, but mainly constructed out of PVC. Small kiddie pools would work for small ponds, small fish. Anything that will hold water, hold the fish for a day or two is all you need.
Also, it's hilarious if you are housing your fish in a small kiddie pond to call your nephews over in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
It scares the crap out of them.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
That's a joke. But I don't know. Like, do you think the internet would go crazy with that and we'd get all these calls about like nephews swimming with fish? Best to avoid it.
I don't know.
You just got to ruin your own joke at the end of any internet video. So now that your fish are safe, what is your next step? Your next logical step after you've saved the fish and made sure that they are comfortable while their house is getting cleaned up?
I would use aeration or a small pump in each tank just for oxygen. Throw netting over it. Fish like to jump. Keep those tanks in the shade so they don't get burned up by the sun.
Oh yeah, they will get sunburned. It's like not a joke.
Yeah.
You've also created this entire ecosystem for them to be able to go hide and get shade, and you just took them out of there and they're just getting fried. So that's a good one.
So then you can use the pump that you have to drain the pond. If you need a bigger pump, use that. Once you get all the water out, wet dry shop vac works really well. Just make sure you take that internal filter out.
Oh goodness, yeah.
And then you're just bucketing muck. Great fertilizer. Don't throw it all away.
If you do have a compost, it's best to let it sit in the compost for a little while because there's a lot of nitrogen content in there, and that could give you nitrogen burn on your plants. But if it's in the off season and you're doing this, when your garden's already done, feel free to put it right in the soil. It'll be perfect for next year.
Right. So after that period, checking on the fish periodically, obviously. A pressure washer works fantastic for cleaning the liner. I used to scrub the liners back in the day, but that was
back when he had hair down to his shoulders and a bunch of lots of earrings. I'm seeing lots of earrings.
Pre-wife, pre-kids.
Vans with checkers boards on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know who you were.
Yeah.
So now we have a nice clean pond, and let's put this whole thing back together. So obviously, what are we missing? We're missing the fish and the water.
Right.
So what's the best way to introduce more water back into the pond? I'm sure there's some conditioners, stuff like that.
Yeah, so obviously fill the pond, add a conditioner to remove chlorine, chloramines, heavy metals. Some have...
And those are the things that our regular water system put in to make sure that we're safe,
right.
Not the best thing for fish.
And there's some higher end conditioners that have stress reducers like aloe vera. So you can add that directly to the pond as it's filling. Once it's full enough to where you can reintroduce the fish, obviously we don't want to just introduce the fish to this new temperature, severely shock them. So what you want to do if you don't have bags and an oxygen tank and float and time which no one does.
Yeah,
What you want to do is actually just drain each of those holding tanks down halfway, let them sit for a couple minutes, fill them up, add a conditioner, wait a little bit, do that again. That'll fully cycle those tanks to the new temperature of the pond. So then you can just gently reintroduce them.
Awesome. And depending on the size of those holding tanks, that's I mean that might even be a job for the shop vac if you just need to pull some of the water out.
Sure.
Otherwise, you know, it's really a slow and steady process. The more time you can give them to acclimate, the happier your fish are going to be and the healthier they're going to be.
Yeah, I mean the outer membrane of fish are so thin. Temperature of the pond is the temperature of them.
Okay.
So be mindful of that.
So here's just the other thing. Give us a call. Let us know what kind of project you have. We'll tell you what conditioners you need. And oh, we didn't talk about the easiest way to make sure this is going well. Please get a thermometer. There's absolutely no reason not to go check the holding tank and then check the water and see what's going on. This is like the number one cheapest best tool to have.
So inexpensive.
Buy a second one. I don't care.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's a rough way to kind of go about the essentials of the process. Feel free to put a specific question down below, and we will do our best to address it. Until next time, take care and enjoy your pond.